With technical difficulties out of the way, we can get started. I am Mataris, Red Swordsman, not your average Joe, take your pick. This is my lovely wife, the one, the only Rebecca. And we're here today to answer your questions, comments, and concerns about my story, Saiyan Tale, which is a crossover between Dragon Ball Z and Fairy Tail.
We're on Chapter 21.
We're on Chapter 21, and to give a brief recap of what happened in this chapter, it began with Goron choosing to save Eclair instead of stopping the Duke from awakening the Phoenix. And that didn't go very well because Phoenix got awakened and it looked really weird. It was this giant metal bird thing instead of a bird made out of fire. But you know, Fairy Tail, how they do, they would decide to go ahead and fight it. But this time, there was a major difference of Goron and Natsu performing a Metamor fusion without the use of the Metamo rings this time, which meant that their fusion was a lot more powerful than last time it appeared during the Grand Magic Games arc. And basically wasted both Dist and the Phoenix in one shot, or so they thought. And in the original, the Phoenix only had this one big metal body form, but I was like, nah, this is Dragon Ball, man. This isn't even my final form thing.
Yeah.
Fun fact, that's never actually spoken in the original Dragon Ball Z, but you know what? It's a meme and it's there, and I decided to use it. So I decided to have the essence of the Phoenix reborn as a Firebird this time that was just being contained by this metal shell. I thought that was a very Dragon Ball approach to the whole thing.
I think so.
And it made more of an interesting fight for Narn, as he's called, the fusion between Natsu and Goron. And we got to see Azra working with Fairy Tail a little bit, despite her initial hostilities toward them. It's clear that she's still kind of annoyed by them in general, but, you know, she doesn't...
It's okay, we're annoyed by her too.
Yeah, so...
As we know, you guys are.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, some people are like,
Some
yes, a
people are
Saiyan
like,
rival, this is
okay.
great, and then others, namely one person who writes an essay like every single time he does a review, was not so happy about it.
We'll get to that.
But I was like, hey, you asked for it.
Yeah.
You wanted him to have a comeuppance, so there you go.
Yeah.
Kidding, man, we love you.
Yeah, alright. So, Joey Ganesh says, this was fun. I was wondering when Goron would go Saiyan God because he is part divine. So, it makes sense that he would one day be able to use God Ki. Was not expecting it here, but it's it was a neat addition. I am fully expecting Azra to have some kind of character arc based around finding a new life purpose. Maybe she will come to love Fairy Tail. Maybe she won't. We will find out eventually. I, too, am nervous about reviews, mostly from the Saiyan. I fear he may rip this one apart. Go easy on it, man. This is all in good fun.
Don't start fights in my review section,
No,
please.
He's being nice.
Okay, alright.
I think he's just joking.
Okay. Was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the other thing I forgot to mention in the recap. At the end of it, they perform a similar to ritual of the Super Saiyan God that was featured in the Battle of the Gods movie that allows both Goron and Azra to awaken their their divine Saiyan abilities. And yeah, I thought I gave an explanation for why it should work, and it seems like Joey Ganesh seems like on board for this. All right, cool. Yeah. Go for it.
Joe Clone. Awesome chapter again, Mataris. Naran is going Super Slayer. Saw it on Instagram, but it's exciting to see him in action. I didn't expect Jinora to help out at all, but I understand her reasoning. It's just part of her Saiyan attitude to want to fight. And then in parentheses. By the way, calling her that from now on, so I won't confuse her with the princess from Vala.
Oh, okay. All right. I can understand. That's a reference to... There's a character named Azra in Fire Emblem game.
Oh, okay.
Who has really long blue hair, but she has yellow eyes, and she's a singer, and she's really not good at fighting. So I think that's about where the parallels end.
Gotcha.
Is there more?
Yeah, there's more.
Oh, go for it.
Those power-up rules make a lot of sense, and I can tell you put a lot of thought into it. Kudos.
Thank you.
Both of them going God, though. It's cool, but I feel like it is going pretty high stakes pretty fast at this point. With you saying that this isn't even the story's final form at all, I'm getting a final form vibe from this chapter's ending, even though it was an infamous cliffhanger. Always a pleasure reading your material, and I can hardly wait for June. I finally got my laptop to run fan fiction again, so maybe another chapter of my own story will be in the works. Awesome, dude.
Dude,
it's great.
Go for it. It's so frustrating. Dude, okay, so
Oh
a quick recap. So, like right after I did my, it was like, I think it was like a couple weeks ago, right after I did my Red Swordsman, 10 chapters of reviews live stream, my computer apparently almost exploded. It just wouldn't turn on, and I didn't understand what was going on. So I took it to get it repaired, and they showed me they had to basically take it apart, replace some of the parts, and put it in a new casing.
Everything was like melted.
Yeah, like all the wires and the fans and stuff were like scorched, and they're like this could have caught on fire.
And somehow miraculously we didn't lose the memory.
Well, that's because the processor was fine. The motherboard had to be replaced, and I was just like...
But, I mean, with our luck, with getting computers wiped, it's like... I was so worried about that, but...
It all turned out okay. The thing's working better than ever, and we're back to full production.
Yeah, technical difficulties suck. I'm so sorry.
We understand your pain.
So the only other thing I think you could address is that he's concerned about how high stakes it's gone so quickly.
I think you'll understand next chapter why I felt it necessary for. You'll understand just how powerful the Phoenix actually is over the course of the fight in the next chapter. Okay. You'll understand a little better why I thought it best to do the high stakes, which was part of it, and because it was a movie arc being adapted into the original timeline. I'm like, you know what? One good turn deserves another. This is an enemy that normally they wouldn't have to face, and it's a lot more than they would normally be expecting. Mm-hmm. So I decided to pull out some of the stops.
Okay. Cool. All right, Majin Lightus. Great chapter, mate. The fights were great. Keep up the good work.
All right, I will do so.
Okay. All right, GPNO 14. Okay, normally I'm not one to give negative thoughts in reviews, but the idea of Goran and Azra succeeding in using the SSG ritual,
Super
Saiyan God ritual, with a bunch of humans that don't have so much as a drop of Saiyan blood in them bothered me so much that I had to point it out. But hey, power of friendship and all that bull. Yeah. I mean, it is fairy tale. Here, I'll let you address that first.
Okay, so I'm actually with you on the power of friendship and all that bull. I don't like it. And I explain why the ritual should work. I mean, if the none of them having Saiyan blood in them bothers you that much, then I'm going to just point out Vegeta. He figured out how to do the Super Saiyan God form without the ritual. He didn't have help. He had help from Whis, who, yes, trained other people in divine energies, but it didn't necessarily require the help of other Saiyans.
And I would almost argue the fact that there wasn't a lot of Saiyan.
There wasn't even a lot of Saiyan blood. You would almost say that I think there was more human blood involved in the original ritual than there was Saiyan blood, because you got 2 pure-blooded Saiyans, but the rest of them were mixed breeds, and the last one was 3/4 human.
Okay.
I mean,
easy there, easy. Chill. You're okay. You're okay.
I'm like, no, that kind of bothered me. It's like, oh, there must be 5 other pure-hearted Saiyans. I'm like.
They're not totally Saiyan. They're human as well.
Yeah.
Cause there's only 2 actual Saiyans there, and I mean they may be descended from Saiyans, but they're not like.
They're not even full Saiyans.
Yeah.
I mean
a lot.
I suppose it's a bit of a stretch that it worked for Azra, but I'm just like, nah. Again, Vegeta was able to figure it out more or less on his own. So, yeah.
Easy there. All right, but. That's just one bad thought amidst a sea of positive feedback you've gotten so far. You're still a good writer, and I hope you keep it up. I'm just sick of seeing stories involving fairy tale always using the power of friendship to win things, and I want to see something different instead. But that's just me. I understand.
I suppose to reiterate, to rephrase it, it wasn't. I didn't intend for this to be power of friendship sees them through the day. No, I tried my best to find something that actually was within the mechanism, the workings of the world. So I thought it made sense. I don't like the whole power of friendship thing either. It gets annoying.
It's cute sometimes though, because you're all teary-eyed with the fairy tale theme playing in the background. They're like, yeah, and then you're just like, yeah. Anyway,
I think the best case
it's overdone for sure.
I think the best case of power of friendship that has been done in Fairy Tail was when Lucy broke Aquarius's key.
Oh, spoiler, by the way.
It's been out since 2014.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it yet, it's been 5 years. That's your fault if you haven't seen it yet.
I was crying for a week. I didn't just say that. Okay, are you ready for Saiyan's review? Are you ready for it? Because I was kind of cracking up reading
I might need another one of these. Let's do it.
All right.
This is root beer, by the way. There's no alcohol in this.
Yeah, he's
Let me have it.
He's a total cinnamon roll. Okay.
How dare you?
Yeah. Okay. I gotta brace.
But thanks for the support from the previous guy. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, GPNO 14. I think that's the first time we've heard from him.
Yeah.
Or him or them. They.
They.
Yeah.
It's whoever you are.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. Simon, I hate you right now. All that good beep, and you end up the worst possible place to put a cliffhanger. I will hunt you down and strangle you. You beep. Haha. Claps hands together and takes deep breath. Okay. Mandatory cliffhanger rage over. Where to begin?
I'm sorry, real quick. You know, you've been following me for a while. You know I leave on cliffhangers. This is nothing new.
Yeah, he does that. Hey, I'm just glad he's getting so into it. I mean, I'm glad if he's this into it. That's a good sign. All right. After 2 chapters of serious pain, beside the one part that I'm still scratching my head over, I'm pretty sure you can guess which one before I even get to it. I'm pretty surprised at how much of a turnaround this was. So much good stuff here. Lots of it. Wow, thanks, Simon. However, because about 80% of this chapter was nothing but fighting the Phoenix, I'm very limited in what I can comment on here, but it keeps going for a really long time.
What is your definition of limited?
You guys are writers. You know, being concise isn't everyone's strong suit, and it's not mine for sure, so it's okay.
Fair enough.
So I guess I'll just focus on the major highlights that happened over the course of this chapter. Before that, though, quick nitpick. None of my friends dying tonight, in quotations, says the guy who hasn't had a single bonding moment with Eclair ever. Ha ha. Yeah, I mean, it's fairy tale, though.
Okay, A, it's fairy tale, and B, I'm going to defend that real quick by saying that he is... so she's a mutual friend at this point. I mean, it's clear that she's connected to Lucy quite well. And no, I would argue that they've had a couple bonding moments. He did agree to try and help her destroy the Phoenix Stone at one point, which is what her father wanted. So that would be important to her. And when she told him to when she told him to take the shot at the Duke so that the Phoenix wouldn't be revived, it made his respect for her grow quite a bit.
Okay. Yeah, it's again.
They're not best buddies, but
yeah, but again. Going back to the whole fairy tale thing, you know, when you're comrades, you're like, you know, you're backing each other up, whether you're super close or not. Because there's lots of examples in fairy tale where one member who you hardly see interacting with another member gets, like, totally loses their crap trying to, you know, protect them or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Again, silly fairy tale stuff, but
it's a fan fiction, and it's a fan fiction based on fairy tale.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
That's just the culture they've got going on in that guild. So, yeah. All right. As I said before, since I haven't seen this movie at all, that description of the Phoenix made me go, huh? Loudly. And if they don't all show up, imagine 2 more question marks at the end of that, huh? Yeah, I agree. We did the same thing when we saw the Phoenix.
When I first saw the movie, I was like,
that's not a Phoenix. I was, like, really excited.
What?
I was really excited to see how the Phoenix would be animated because that's, like, I don't know. That's a really cool concept, the Firebird. And I remember it as, like, a 12-year-old drawing a Phoenix for my friend and being super excited about it. And so,
I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for, was to make your jaw drop, going like, what?
That doesn't look like what it's... Anyway.
And I mean, they succeed. If that was their intention, they succeeded.
It's not the traditional image of the Phoenix, so no. I agree with you there. I had to go look it up, and what I saw left me dumbfounded and my jaw dropped. I know that might have tried to make this not so generic, with the same image we have with the Phoenix, but seriously, what the hell were they thinking when they came up with that metal monstrosity? I totally agree, dude. Some of the creatures they designed in that show, I'm like, huh? I feel like they're trying to go non-traditional with a lot of them,
Yeah.
which makes sense, but like, I think you get amped up for this crazy monster a lot of the times, and then you're like,
what just happened?
Yeah, and I think that honestly happens a lot in that show. I do that with the dragons often in that show too. Some of the dragons are cool, but I feel like I always get bummed out about the way they draw the dragons.
Wait, which dragon were you disappointed in?
Like most of the ones when they all came through the
gate. Oh, okay. I thought I liked the non-traditional approach that they took with the dragons. I thought it was cool.
He's the dragon guy, so he gets excited no matter what the dragons look like. I don't know.
No, I drew the line. There was a fuzzy red dragon that almost came through, and I was like, nope, shut the door. He's not coming through. That's not happening. Dragons should not be fuzzy unless it's in the never-ending story, and even then, it's kind of a stretch.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a very specific aesthetic that I like, as you can see. Anyway, I knew Kaidon and Natsu were not going to fuse again for this. I just didn't know if it was the dance or the earrings. Wait. Okay. I knew Kaidon and Natsu were going to fuse again for this. I just didn't know if it was the dance or the earrings. And I'm fully aware that despite his stupidity, he does have good attention to detail. So I knew he'd have the dance memorized to pull it off perfectly and not mess up. We were watching the Broly movie the other day. And
she saw the Broly movie with me finally, and she liked it.
I love it. I cried the second time we watched it. I'm also pregnant ladies, so it's not surprising, but okay.
You almost made me cry when Kakarot has to say goodbye to his parents.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
But no, that scene with them messing up the dance is the best. I love it.
Nobody's stronger than me now.
Oh gosh. Which not
your alignment is pathetic.
Yeah. Can I continue?
Sorry.
Which, not counting Lucy and Yukino, can't be said for anyone else who tries to fuse it first. So now we can see Naren's true power. How epic. Also, how's this for an alternate name? Kaitsu. Ooh, I like that. Since Gogeta...
If the Potara fusion happens, that's a good name.
Kaitsu, that's a really good one. Since Gogeta and Vegeta refer to Goku as Kakarot mostly, who's to say that Naren, despite knowing one of his fusees, hates the name, wouldn't use it? He probably would. He likes being contrary.
Can I pause on that real quick? So when So I actually wrote this chapter before the Broly movie happened, and originally when Gogeta makes his debut in the movie Fusion Reborn, where they fight Janemba, his opening line is, "I am neither Goku nor Vegeta, I am Gogeta." And that's where the name Gogeta comes from. So I thought that it would be better to have the Metamoran fusion referred to him by his given name, not his Saiyan title. In the Broly movie, which is canon, and now he refers to him as Kakarot and Vegeta. But I still felt that it's better to differentiate between the Potara and Metamoran fusions by using that distinction. So sorry I got in the way.
No, you're good. And you were thinking of that first scene with Gogeta and Frieza from the movie for that scene with Azura, weren't you? Yeah, we wrote this he wrote this way before we saw the movie. It may have been out, but we hadn't seen it.
No, this was out. This was written before the movie was out.
Yeah, because you saw it when it first came out in the United States.
I wrote this shortly after I saw the 5th Broly trailer, which revealed that Gogeta was going to be a thing, but it didn't it was like a 30-second trailer, and it didn't give any character details.
Got it. And that was like last year, right?
That was late last year.
Late last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, speaking of Azura, it would have been more funny if you had added each chant for the Kamehameha in between each line until the final one. I counted it. It's completely possible for a quick revision.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I might be able to go back and fix that then. We'll see if I have the time.
Cool. Seeing a detailed description for a visual of Naren's Super Slayer form gives me a great mind candy. I like it. At first, I thought the dragon scales would have been red, but gold as well? That's cool. Anyway, as there's literally only... I feel like that's really high praise coming from him.
Yeah. I think this is the most positive he's ever been on a review.
Yeah. Anyway, as there's literally... And he started it with I hate you. So...
I think he might have been being sarcastic because I ended it on a cliffhanger. This is where most of his rage comes from.
No, I know.
But, okay.
I'm joking.
Sorry.
Anyway, as there's literally only one picture of the Phoenix's metal body and nothing else on Google, I'm going to guess that having it be metal shell to contain its true form is all an original concept you came up with to make it more dramatic and tense.
Yes.
Because I can definitely see a problem if that is all Fairy Tale had to deal with in the movie.
Yeah, so in the original movie, they shoot the Phoenix with the arrow. It dies because it destroys the stones that make up its essence. But in my interpretation of it, Narun melts the outer shell, but the stones themselves didn't die. So that's why it comes back in its fire form.
Actual Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay. So we finally get to see Urza's own Dragon Ball related trick, special armor that enables her to use Etherion key attacks and use Kaioken safely. It also puts her out of her usual offensive zone as she usually uses weapons. But we all know she's strong without weapons.
Yeah, I thought it would be an interesting concept to give her an armor set that didn't involve a sword or an axe on her. She can do some real damage with her fists.
Urza always needs a badass moment. Let's just be real.
Yep.
Not much to say for now, currently on this at all, as all we see is her using Kaioken and Ki Blast volley attack. Can't wait to see what else Urza can do with this new armor. Cool. Well, another thing to add to the list of time the spirit bomb didn't work. Oh, sorry, I didn't carry that off very well. Oh well, sorry.
Oh, nothing's working. Better use that thing that always works.
Yeah, sorry. Becca's dyslexia is coming out again.
Uh-oh.
Alright, in all seriousness, that was a nice idea. Even more so with Azra doing it while Narun protects her. I'm like getting overwhelmed with all this positivity, dude.
I don't know how to respond to this.
What would have made it better is if you made Azra turn into a Super Saiyan, Super Spirit Bomb after tossing it, just like when Goku used it to destroy Kid Buu, becoming Super Saiyan and making it stronger.
Do
I need to read that again?
No. I'm just thinking. Okay. I'm just thinking about how to answer that. So, I mean, she could have turned Super Saiyan, but I mean, everything was happening so fast that. She threw it, and then they were all trying to get away from what was about to be the blast radius because she kind of threw it in close proximity. Mm-hmm. And it was a super spirit bomb. You don't need to be. I mean, so while you're forming the spirit bomb, you can't be Super Saiyan because some amount of maliciousness has to be in your heart for that to happen. Because again, when you're Super Saiyan, your sense of reason starts to erode away and you progressively become angrier and angrier. You cannot make a spirit bomb while you have any sense of ill will in your heart. So, and I was wondering if anybody was going to pick up on that because it's like, wait, she knows how to do the spirit bomb. That means there's got to be some part of her has to be innocent or good or however you want to call it.
Even though she's a total prick.
She is a total prick. As much as she tries to exude this aura of arrogance and toughness or whatever, she's able to craft a spirit bomb, which means that
there's some good in her to be cliche.
Yeah.
All right. Sure, it might not work when combined with that Dragon Fist, but it would make it more spectacular. And a quick thing about that Dragon Fist, besides having it be a Shenron palette swap, why not give it features to make it mix between both Shenron and Igneal? Ooh, that would be epic.
It's funny you bring that up. Something to keep in mind is that this is the first time they're using this attack. Okay. And Narun is not done. He will make more appearances, and the more he appears, the better his Super Slayer magic is going to get. So, keep that in mind as you continue the story.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Are you ready for this? I hope so, because I sure am. Here we go. What is the big head-scratching moment of this chapter, ladies and gentlemen?
Let me guess. It's something to do with the Super Saiyan God ritual.
The Super Saiyan God ritual. Yep.
There it is.
I said that. While you try to justify it in your outro, I still need to call you out on that because for one thing, you keep mentioning how it's the only way to become a Saiyan God. This isn't true. With the proper training, like from Weiss, a Saiyan can become a god without it, which is how Vegeta obtains the form and how custom
characters?
Custom Saiyans in XV2
Xenoverse 2
can too. Secondly, it's because
Can I get the first point?
Go for it.
Okay, so I covered this I pretty much covered this earlier, but so you're saying that I'm saying that's the only way for them to become Super Saiyan God. Let me clear up on that. When Goran said that, he was under the assumption that he was never going to run into anybody from his world again. So he just assumed, and he didn't know that he had divine ki either. So he wasn't even considering it as a possibility that he could achieve the Super Saiyan God form. His ultimate goal was to go for Super Saiyan 4. So when he mentioned that, it was just kind of like that's not really an option for me. And he was trying to explain the basics of it to Kinana. And originally, it was thought you could only become a Super Saiyan God through the ritual, but as you pointed out, and as I mentioned earlier, Vegeta was able to do it without the ritual. So this proves that there are alternate methods to becoming a Super Saiyan God. And I think I pretty much covered everything else on that, so it happened.
Okay. Secondly, it's because the hybrid Saiyans even had Saiyan blood that it even worked. There's no possible way that should have even worked with Kaidan and Azura to begin with. It's as Shenron says, 5 Saiyans with righteous hearts must instill their light to another. Key word in that statement is Saiyans, not humans. My suspension of disbelief refuses to accept that. It just makes as much sense as saying fairy tale exists in the world of Dragon Ball. Yeah, we're not going over that one again. Meaning none, but whatever.
Alright, we've done this before, moving on.
No, but, you're not going to go over
I've already said all there is to be said for
about
that.
the 5 Saiyan thing.
I already covered that.
Yeah, there were hardly 5 Saiyans
Yeah.
in the beginning. Alright, despite that one bit, this was a very good chapter. Lots of good stuff happening. But now I have to wait another month for the conclusion. This will be a pain. Now, if only I can make progress on my own Dragon Ball story. Know the feeling, man. You got this.
Rise Block 6.
Yeah. Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you.
That was the most positive review he has ever left. Thank you.
Yes,
wow.
thank you.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
I'm glad. Apparently you're growing on him. Even though he wants to come and strangle you. You B word. Okay. So...
Moving on.
Ushin Denshi. Great chapter. I'm excited to finally see Goran and Azura in their Super Saiyan J God forms?
Super Saiyan God form.
Saiyan God form. Got it. From the preview of the next chapter. I can tell they beat the Phoenix without killing Eclair. Right? See anything else?
Wait till next chapter to find out if they do manage to beat the Phoenix without killing Eclair, because Super Saiyan Gods are really powerful, and they are just getting the hang of these new abilities, so there might be some collateral damage.
Hey, pervy sage. Alright.
I see someone's a Naruto fan. I don't like Jiraiya.
Why not just use the Mafuba, and in quotes, the evil containment, or blah, blah. How do I keep calling them?
Evil containment wave?
Parentheses, evil containment wave.
Because neither of them knows it.
Oh.
It was brought back for the Zamasu arc, which is really cool. But neither Azura nor Goran learned it because neither of them really saw a point to it, I suppose. It doesn't fit their fighting style, and there was no specific need for them to learn it. That kind of goes back to like how even if they did know it, which they don't. It's not something they practice, and they wouldn't be very good at using it. Kind of like how I was mentioning.
But they don't really practice fusions either.
Yeah, but that's kind of a hit or miss thing,
okay.
though. The Mafuba technique was I think it took Roshi decades to master it. So they don't have time. They're just like don't have time for that.
Okay.
it kind of ties back to there was a couple chapters ago. Someone was like, "How did Goran teach Keenan all these moves that he doesn't know himself?" He does know them. He just doesn't. They don't fit into his fighting style. They don't fit into his repertoire, so he doesn't practice them.
That's kind of like if you practice a form of martial arts or any sport that has flexibility like that. As you get better, you tend to pick what works for you for your specific body type and for your style. You know, because that's going to come more. What works for you physically is going to come more naturally to you. Yeah, and so you can understand the concept and you could probably explain it to somebody and get them proficient, but mastering it is a different thing altogether.
Bottom line is they didn't use the Mafuba because neither of them learned it. They didn't see a need for it.
Okay. RHatch89, awesome update, smiley face.
Hey!
Cool.
Is that all?
Right, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope we have been able to address your comments and concerns. We have a lot of fun doing this, and we will see you guys for the next video. Take care.
Bye.
We're out.